I think most of you have met me. If you haven't, my name is Ken Kingsbury. I have been working with Asprodental for a little over 4 years. It's been very exciting to watch the product evolve and especially through the AACA. That's been great. Uh, and maybe some of you a couple of years back saw me be the famous purple dragon up on stage. But it's been great for me. But I started uh, a good chunk of time ago, 1985 actually, and so I have been in different dental uh, offices starting back when probably no more than 25% of the offices had implemented computers. So there were still, this really dates me, but there were still pegboards, people literally handwriting in or typing in debits and credits and having to use a adding machine to add it all up and balance the paper charts, obviously, paper schedules, film, no digital x-rays at that point in time. So I've seen a lot of offices adopt new technology. Sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's a little slower depending on the orientation. Um, but it has always been um, exciting to see it come and what it has brought and the ability to little by little start to help with what can be a pretty sizable bottleneck in offices as they try to juggle so many things. Um, so all of you, I'm sure, have done your fair amount of your own online scheduling, whether it's Open Table or Etsy or um, Eventbrite or booking an appointment at the DMV, or typically most of us are in larger HMOs on our medical side, so that is almost, you know, I don't think I'm aware of anybody out there typically calling to make an appointment. So we're used to the convenience is what it really boils down to. And our patients are used to the convenience. So the first thing that it is worth mentioning is that there's always going to be new patients coming in, hopefully new patients coming in, people that have moved into the neighborhood from or the area from other parts of the country, sometimes other parts of the world. I'm in San Francisco. And so I know there's a lot of international people that come here to work. They want to go and find doctors and dentists and all that. They're going to get online. They're going to surf. They're going to look for reviews. And if there's a convenient button right there, they're going to click it to schedule an appointment. It doesn't mean that everybody will hesitate to pick up a phone and call, but that's just the nature of the beast these days. Convenience and ability to streamline that. So I think it's just an obvious piece right there to try to make it as easy as possible. Now we're going to go over the module in a moment so that you can see how much control you have in that process. You're not just opening up your book to everybody, but that piece of it there, the convenient piece, is going to encourage people to book appointments. Sometimes there's just a thing that happens when you have to pick up a phone, and it doesn't necessarily mean it happens in a dental office, but it definitely happens when you pick up a phone and then you're on there forever trying to make something happen. So there's just ways that people react to that. The other piece is just the retention, the compliance that it's going to offer for your existing patients, whether they're overdue on their cleanings or other types of appointments that can sometimes, get lost in the shuffle. Something comes up, they have to cancel. If it's easy for them to get on and make that happen, it's going to make a difference. The efficiency in your practice. And again, I know you probably know all this, but I just want to make sure I'm emphasizing these things because the efficiency, the bottleneck that happens so often in a dental practice is just how intensive it can be for your administrative staff to get things to happen, to fill that book. Filling the appointment book is the most important thing. So if there are ways that we can take some of the more easy appointments, new patients exams, or maybe an emergency or an iTero scan or whatever it happens to be that you can offer that is a set period of time, has a set amount types of procedures that are attached to it, that can really help free up staff for other things that are going to require their time and attention. So the efficiency there, the retention, the ability for patients, especially if you're offering Invisalign, orthodontics, things of that nature, that is going to be something that's going to be really convenient in terms of scheduling. And then lastly, it's not something that I necessarily enjoy bringing up, but I mean, there is a competitive nature to dental practices. If people are out there looking to find a new dentist, they're going to be looking at things, modern things in a practice, convenience, being able to schedule. So this is going to level the playing field. So this is not it's not a concept anymore. It's here. It's been a little slow in the adopting of this technology in dental offices, not unlike in the medical, but it's coming in. I think more and more dental practices are seeing the advantages. So I think that embracing this technology just gives you a better patient experience. It's going to improve operational efficiency and in the competitive landscape. And I think it's a win for both practice and patient. So that's my sort of overview as we get going. I want to encourage any questions that you have, put it in the chat or the Q&A. I will do my best to answer anything that you have a question about. If I can't answer it, or it's something that I just not right now capable of answering, I will get back to you, I promise. And then I guess the last thing too is that we are rolling out a new module, a new technology to offer. Again, very exciting, but you can't, when you offer a new module or a feature, you can't just keep developing forever. At some point, you got to draw a line in the sand and you release it, and you know that it's going to continue to evolve, especially given that we are the only dentist-backed practice management program out there. I'm very excited to say that. That's pretty rare in this world of corporate entities and investors and stuff like that. So we know we're going to get great input. So, and we know this is going to continue to evolve over time. So there may be some things that you want that aren't there yet, possibly, maybe not. But so I just want to know that this is not the end of the process. We will continue to make updates and changes as we go with your great input. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen and move on into, I got to just move a couple of Zoom controls out of the way here. And there we go. So most of you, I believe, are already using Asprodental. So you're obviously looking at a screen that you are used to seeing. And nothing's going to really radically change here other than in a moment, I'm going to go into the online scheduling so you can see it from your vantage point. And then from there, I'm going to go to what a patient will see and have them schedule an appointment, and how that shows up with an email that goes to you at the office, an email and text that goes to the patient to confirm. There'll even be a code that needs to be entered to make sure it's not somebody that is like a robot trying to schedule things. And you can control just how far out that can be. Typically, I wouldn't want somebody scheduling an appointment the night before, so you can say, 48 hours or something like that. So it makes it a lot easier. So you have control over that piece of it. But the only difference is that you will begin to see on certain resources at certain times for certain types of appointments, they will appear on the schedule. You'll be able to identify those really easily because it'll say booked online, and you'll also get the email alert so you can go right to that appointment to make sure that it's all copacetic. So I'm going to click on the little wheel up here, and you're used to seeing a lot of these things. Some of you maybe are starting to use the mass communications and stuff, but I'm going to write down here to online scheduling. And let's just take a moment to talk a little bit about what's on the screen here, because the only typical concern sometimes that I see or hear about is losing control of the schedule. And I really, really think that if this is set up correctly, that's not going to be the case. So the first thing you're going to see is that you can control which days and what types of appointments appear as you move through your appointment book. Okay. So you can see on here that we have checkups and cleanings that are available between 9 and 12 o'clock. And again, down below from 1 to 5, here's an Invisalign check area, new patient. You control that input by going over here to where on the right-hand side of the screen where it says appointment types. You can name the appointment type. I'll just click on one of them for you. So this is a checkup and cleaning. You can determine what codes are available, and you get to set what the timeline is for that. 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 60 minutes. It's all completely controlled by the office. A patient can't come in here and schedule a cleaning. If you've designated that for 30 minutes, then that's the only slot that they're going to be able to get. They can't make it an hour or 45 or 2 hours or 15 minutes. That is not in their control. You can also not only will it look for open appointments, meaning it's not going to book on top of something else, but if you've blocked the schedule using the block, it'll also see that as not available. So there's a lot of ways that you can make sure that something is not going to accidentally get scheduled in the wrong place. You also have the ability, which I really like, to set up your own internal. So here's an iTero scan code. If you wanted to set that up, whatever you have internally in your office that you've set, you can also use those internal codes along with the ADA codes to create that. So right now you can see we have a checkup and cleaning, an Invisalign check, an emergency exam, and a new patient appointment. Each of these has the codes applicable to that. Okay. You can also modify that by just clicking on it. You can add additional codes here, or you can add your own internal codes as we just talked about earlier. So again, you can determine the resource, the day of the week, what times, which providers. Okay, so you can have an initial oral exam with provider 1. You can have another one with provider 2, 3. So it can be very detailed in terms of that type of a setup. So unless I am missing something, this really creates for you in your office the ability to limit or open up as much as you're wanting your schedule for the types of appointments that should be really simple for a patient to be able to select. Okay. So again, I'm just going to keep moving. This obviously I can't, this is not interactive. So if you have a question, I will get to that at the end. So if I'm missing something, you have a question here, please write it down or put it into the Q&A so I can get to it earlier. If you happen to also be a practice, I'm sorry, I missed this earlier. If you happen to be a practice that has multiple locations, then you can also set it up for that as well. So even though we're setting up now for the Madison Circle Dental, that is not populating Toothtown. It's not populating Main Street Dental. Those are all can be on their own set of online as well if you want to. So again, really gives you a lot of control and feature there. So this is reached through the little portal up here and then going to online scheduling to get into that. Now I'm going to click over here and I'm going to go to a different window so you can see what the patient will see when they click the link either on your website or on your review page on Yelp or anywhere else. This is really simple for you to be able to paste the online portal link right there. And we can talk about that more. I'm not going to get into all the details on that, but I just want you to know that it's a HIPAA compliant, it's great, and it can go anywhere you want to have that link. and we can certainly work with you to give you some information on how to do that. I'm going to click on the Madison Dental, okay, which is not unusual to just have one location, but that you can see that the other ones are there as well. There are below now the types of appointments that we set up earlier. So we can see the checkup and cleaning, we can see the emergency exam, Invisalign, new patient, etc. You can see that this one is for Hermione, this is for Stephen. These are all the different providers. When you click on that, it's going to go ahead and then bring up for you all the available dates. You can see the highlighted or the times that are highlighted. So just for the sake of time and wanting to make sure that you guys get a chance to see this, I'm just going to click on 4:30. This then allows the patient to go in. I'm already in there, so I'm just going to go ahead and select that, but I'm going to give it a different email address because I want to be able to show you guys too what it's like once the patient books an appointment, okay? So what it's going to be looking for to see if this patient exists, it's going to match the name, the email, phone number, and the date of birth. So really important that as they're setting this up, this is where I get to show you just how old I am. But now, if that information is different, it will create a new patient from that. So this is going to be an important piece. So when we go to schedule this, it is going to go ahead and then send out a confirmation code that needs to be entered in at this point in time. And got it right here, 83. So it's just showing right up on my phone here. This is what the patient's going to see, 8364. Then you submit it. If that's the right code, then that's going to bring you in and hit a thank you. So what happens at this point in time is that right on my screen, again, I'm getting a text that is showing the patient that the appointment was made. I'm also getting an email, and I'll just click on that. I apologize if you can't read it too well, but basically that email shows up on the patient's email from the office, letting them know that this has been scheduled. And in your practice, let me switch the screen here a little bit. Go over here to this view. You'll see that right here is the team. Let me make sure I'm on the right one here. Let's see if I got it. Yeah. Okay. I don't think I think there might be something I didn't click on. But anyway, you'll get a email to the office. Oh, there it is. Just showed up. And if you click on that, you can see that it's letting you know that Ken Kingsbury has booked a checkup and cleaning on 2/23 at 4:30 p.m. If you hit view appointment, it's going to take you right in to that appointment so you can see it without even having to search for it. So there it is. There's all the information. I'm an existing patient. It says scheduled online right here. Okay. Who it's scheduled with, what they're coming in, the procedures that are being done, et cetera. So it's not unlike what you're doing already in the office when you're scheduling an appointment, but I don't know, maybe I'm just sort of a nerd around technology, but I think that is really pretty remarkable that the patient is able to schedule that. They get the notices, you get the notice, it's in the appointment book. You get to get the link right to it so you can make sure it all looks good and copacetic before it's, etched in stone. And it is helping your practice little by little you can see I'm sitting right there with that appointment ready to go at that time slot that you allotted for that patient to be able to schedule for that. So this is a new module, the online scheduling. I'm excited. I've been anxiously awaiting it. I think it covers almost all the bases that I can think of. Maybe you may think of some other things, and I want to definitely hear those because we're always looking to. I mean, I'm going to get off topic a little bit, but on topic at the same time, and to say that our job, Asprodental, is to help you and your practice be as efficient and offer as much convenience as possible for your patients. So that's why this module has come. It was asked for. We see the benefit of it, but we're also going to be really excited to get your input um, and anything that you might see additional that you might want to see in an online scheduling. But I'm going to click over into my Zoom. Oh yeah, last thing I want to say um, that I'm also happy to be able to let you guys know is that for the BBD investors, this module is being given to you at no cost, not just for your 1 year, but for there on out. So this is actually a free module, normally $150 a month. So I'm very excited to be able to offer that to you and anybody out there that is an investor with Asprodental. So I think that is really just on top of everything else, that's just a lovely thing. So let me see if I have accumulated any questions. I may have to stop sharing here to see those. So hang on one second. Okay, I got a couple of questions that look like they've come in. Let's see, open. Got it. Got it. So the link is something that you can send out. Somebody asked, I don't know if you can see that, but somebody asked, where does the patient get the link to schedule? That link is generated by Asprodental in your program. So you can text the link if somebody calls about it, but you can also post that link to your website. You can post it to a Yelp review page or anything of that nature. And then when the patient, sees your reviews or sees the information on your practice, there's just a little convenient button there that they can click, and that takes them in to schedule an appointment. Same with your website. You can also send it, via email or text as well. So there's a lot of different ways to do that. Yes, you can text the link. And let's see, what else? Okay. Can they schedule and will a profile be made? Yes, a profile is made if it's a new patient, but you're alerted to that in an email. So when you show up, let's say somebody scheduled, a new patient schedules that the night before when you're away, when you come in the morning, you're going to see the email there with the link and all the information so you can go. And if it's not all filled in, which it is not going to be, then you can send out that very convenient text or email with the health history and all the rest of the demographics to be filled out before the patient comes. So that's great. Let's see. Any other questions on there? So I think I mentioned that you can control how far out. So in my opinion, I wouldn't want people scheduling in the middle of the night before we're coming into the practice. Too many places that could go wrong. So you can decide whether it's 24 hours before or 48 hours before, and then they can't make an appointment any sooner than that, which I think makes a lot of sense. And then if there are more detailed questions than anybody has, then please reach out to me and I will make sure I get an email out with my contact information to everybody that attended the webinar, and happy to set up a demo and go through in more detail. We recorded this presentation, and you can skip through all of my verbosity, which to get to the meat of it. But also there'll be training videos and lots of other ways for you to learn about it. But again, I want to give you a second time the great news. If you are an Asprodental user and a BBD investor, this is a module that we are gifting to you to use for as long as you are using the product. So I think that's a really great, generous thing from Aspro. And I think we're probably coming up on what we need to cover. So if there's no other questions, let me just see. Doesn't look like it. Then again, I want to thank everyone for attending. I know some of you it's later in the evening. Again, my name is Ken Kingsbury. I will send you an email with all my contact information. Very happy to do another presentation for you, for anybody else in your practice that needs to see it. We want you to feel good and comfortable about a decision or a choice to use the module, even though it's free. Certainly you want to feel good about it. So, and yeah, so thank you again for participating. We're excited to have you as clients of Asprodental. There is an anonymous person out there sending in some questions, so I'm assuming they're another Asprodental user. But thank you again, and let me just move this out of the way and see. Yep. If you're not there are a few of you that are still considering Asprodental. Again, I'm very happy to answer questions specifically for you, do another presentation. But this is great news. I think it adds to the beauty of being on a cloud system. I don't think a cloud system really, in my opinion, is complete without at least the option to do online scheduling. If you're opening up a new practice, which some of you are, this is, to me, is like a no-brainer. Certainly will help alleviate some of the stress at the front desk because you're looking to fill the book and stuff like that. Okay. So again, thank you. I'm gonna, sorry, some other people. Okay, somebody asked, how do we know if an appointment is booked? You will, the practice gets an email as soon as an appointment is booked. You'll see those emails on your practice email, and then it will, you can click right on the link on that email and it'll take you right to the appointment. So yes, good question. How do we set up in my office? Very cool feature. It gets turned on. We can help you. There'll be some training videos, and we've got people available to answer questions. And it's pretty straightforward, but yeah, you definitely want a little help. And somebody is thanking me, so thank you. And I will make sure I get my contact information out to you. So again, thanks so much, and hope to see you guys or talk to you guys soon. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.